There we go. All right, so as you can tell, we got some big changes on the way. Those big changes are on the way this weekend. They begin to arrive tomorrow. So tomorrow we probably will start off nice and warm, but it looks like by later on in the day, and especially tomorrow night, it's going to start to turn cooler. And then as we get into the weekend, another surge of cool air heads south, and this next surge brings with it some decent rainfall, if not maybe some heavy rainfall. So yes, that's right. Weekend is looking cool and wet, or at least part of the weekend looks wet. I'm going to warn you now, if you've got plans on Saturday that is, then you might want to think about canceling those plans or perhaps coming up with a backup plan, because as of right now, I think it's going to be really wet this weekend. So we'll kind of talk about what's going on here now. And here is a satellite tonight. And we've had this dry line in the area, and there were some storms that did manage to form along that down there closer to San Angelo this evening. Some pretty big storms, hail producers that is. But none of that made it up our way. We just stayed hot and humid, warm as humid outside tonight. Still got a bit of a cap in place here, so we really didn't see much. There's also some storms north of us, but that's kind of where they're staying at least for now. As we get into tomorrow, however, if you notice, here comes our front. The front is going to take a surge, a quick push to the south late tonight and in the morning. And it's this front that will bring with it the big change. It's going to really help pull some cool air in from out of Canada, and that's what's headed down in our direction for the weekend. So if you have plans for the weekend, that's why I'm saying you may want to consider changing them. So with the front tomorrow, I don't think we'll see storms over most of Texoma, but there could be some storms to our east, and I'm talking about they could perhaps maybe flirt with some of our eastern counties. I'm talking about Montague County, Jack County, and down towards maybe southern Young and maybe southeastern Jack County, those areas. Maybe a quick moving thunderstorm. I think most of it will be to the south and to the southeast. I can pull in some weather data here. We can take a look at it. This is the evening run of the HER. And if we take a look at this, give it a second, we'll load in. This front may be a little bit off with the timing. I haven't updated it yet, but see, it shows those north winds well far south. So this front is probably further south than what it shows here by the afternoon. And it looks like that front doesn't really kick any storms off until it gets mostly to our southeast. So we're talking about down around Dallas and maybe northeastern Texas, some hail-producing storms. It looks like as of now, those are just going to barely miss us. But as we get towards tomorrow night and to Friday, we'll see the north winds keep things cool. But, we might begin to see some clouds even showing up. And that might lead to eventually to some rain chances. I think by Friday night, if this were, let's say back in February, we'd probably be looking at wintry precipitation with this. But since it's April, I'm talking about mid to late April now, the chances for that have basically gone away. So while I'm not looking for severe weather with this system here, I moved way, way, way too fast. It does look pretty wet. There could be some thunderstorms with this, and it kind of gets going. This is based upon the European computer model. As this next storm, this next little wave moves south and southeast, we might see some showers and thunderstorms late Friday night into Saturday. And as of right now, if it doesn't rain all day Saturday, I think it's going to rain a good part of it. It should begin to kind of taper off Saturday night and into early Sunday. We should see the sun return on Sunday. But even on Sunday, without the rain and the clouds beginning to break up, it's cool. This is a shot of cool air coming straight from Canada. So this is a chilly air mass. So we're talking about highs on Saturday, probably not getting out of the 50s, and we could struggle to get out of the 50s on Sunday. Now, we will get back to warm weather next week. We are at the time of the year. Any blast of cool air won't stick around very long at all. But, it's this cool air, these blasts that really have limited our severe weather chances, for the most part this spring season, which that's usually the case and has been the case as of late anyway. As far as rainfall amounts go, it could be anywhere between 1 and 3 inches across a good part of Texas. Some places might even get more than that between now and, let's say, early midday on Sunday. Now, further north you go across Oklahoma, the lighter the amounts, but it looks like some areas, especially south of the Red River, could get some good rainfall. Now, if we don't wind up seeing thunderstorms on Friday night, then these rainfall amounts will come down some. But I do expect at least a couple inches across parts of the area with this system. So that's good, much needed rain. We need it because you know what happens as we get into the late spring and early summer. That's usually our wettest time of the year. If we don't get rain then, we typically miss out. And then we get to the hot, dry summer pattern, and La Nina is coming back. And with La Nina coming back, it's usually, of course, this El Nino didn't produce a lot of rain. It produced some over us. But with a La Nina, that usually just brings hot, dry weather to us. So hopefully we can get some good rain here over the next couple of months. We are in the heart of our severe weather season now, and if we kind of take a peek at things down the road, this is I don't have I'm not going to show you weather data with this one here, but if we take a peek, or as I'm taking a peek down the road, the pattern still tries to remain active with what would look like a favorable pattern for severe weather across the central and southern part of the United States into late April and early May. So that is the peak of the severe weather season. It's usually May. So as we get there, we'll have to see if these patterns can hold and continue. At least down our way, it's one of those things where oftentimes our more violent weather comes April, but we can still see some significant severe weather in May as well. May into June. Last year we saw severe weather into June, so I just kind of keep an eye on it and see what happens. But that's really all I got in the world of weather here tonight. I don't really have a whole lot else to talk about. Yeah, it looks like most of the day Saturday could be wet, Marie. You know what, Kelly, that's right. I mean, this upcoming Friday, upcoming Saturday would be a good day to fix those soups and those chilies. You know, Gary, it's pretty good. I can't complain here. Can't complain any at all. Some people tell me I wear a toupee. I do not wear a toupee. I promise you I don't. Thank you, AC. I like that name, AC. Thank you, AC, for the thumbs up there. You know, I was talking with a friend of mine earlier tonight about just the weather business in general and what's happened to it. You know, and I talk about this all the time. You've just got so many people now on the internet that, you know, that didn't go to school to get the degree, that are out there giving so many bad forecasts. I mean, there's a dime a dozen of them out there, and they're stealing a lot of our viewers. You know, a lot of people have are more and more on social media, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. You name it, they're all over those. And you know, they're just they're not even. They may have a job, they may not, but anyway, they're putting out and giving so many bad forecasts that it's really become a joke, and it really makes you, you know, as somebody like myself that's a degreed meteorologist, has been doing this for a long time. It really makes me sick to my stomach, because I know the years and years and years of hard work that I put in, and all the long hours and that I put into making my forecasts. You know, I'm forecasting weather 24/7. Weather never stops. You know, whether it be bad weather or be good weather. If you're not on social media hyping up weather like Reed Timmer does, or like Ryan Hall does, or like a lot of these other people do, these so-and-so weather pages, then, you know, you're not getting the viewership. You're not reaching as many people because the algorithms through social media don't like you. And I love you guys. I'm glad you guys listen to me. I'm glad you guys pay attention to the weather here. And I hope that even if you're not in my market, no matter where you're at, I hope that you guys have a trusted source, a real trusted source to get good. It just concerns me, because I mean, when you got these people out there who are not degreed meteorologists and are out there, you know, just trying to make a buck off of this, and they're out there and they're just trying to get followers and viewers, they're going to give you bad information so you will watch them. That's what they do. They give you bad weather information. So I don't know if they just probably don't know how to forecast. You know, and Reed Timmer's a great meteorologist. you know, I've lost a lot of respect for him and all this. Everything's a violent tornado outbreak type thing. So, you know, but see, the thing is, though, it's great to have an accurate forecast. It's great for, the people that I'm able to reach, but those people who no longer watch TV or don't follow me on social media. I mean, I read a post on somebody the other day, on a local weather page, and this person does a good job, but the viewer said, "I only trust you. I don't trust our local people." Well, I mean, this guy. I mean, like I say, this group. They're great people and all, and they're not meteorologists. They're not real forecasters. They're just regurgitating what the Weather Service says, and then they're basically coming up with, and they can look at a little data and try to do a little forecasting. But there again, why would you trust someone over your local people that really went to school, that know the science, that know the reasoning? And I'm not just talking about me, but I'm talking about Michael down the street, or Lexi up at KSWO. Why would you want to trust? It's okay to get information, but why would you say I trust you more than our local people? It's because most people think that the weatherman's going to get it wrong, going to get our forecast wrong. But I can tell you right now, if I did an analysis, if I did a study on my forecasts, I would say not just my forecast, but most meteorologists in general, real weather people, how often we get them right versus we get them wrong. We be getting them right way more than we get them wrong. I'm talking, we probably get them right 80 to 85, maybe 90% of the time. But you only notice when, and I say this all the time, you only notice when I get them wrong. You get so used to us getting them right that you only notice when we miss them. Like if I say, it might be a shower outside today, but it doesn't look like that big of a deal. And then you go out there and it rains real hard all day long. I miss that one, you're going to notice it. But if I forecast, 95 degrees, sunny, and it's only 93, you don't notice that. I mean, that's still an accurate forecast. I'm just saying, you just don't notice it because of that. The hardest thing in the world to forecast is winter weather. That is the worst thing in the world to have to forecast in this part of the country, because when you're forecasting winter weather, you're forecasting specifics down to the T, and it's hard to get those specifics down to the T. What you do is you look at the data and you give a number. Like if I know that if I'm forecasting tomorrow's high at 80, and I know if I can get somewhere, let's say within about 3 or 4 degrees of that number, that's a pretty good forecast. So, but when you're forecasting winter weather, and the same thing with rain, if I forecast rain and it rains, let's say I forecast an inch of rain and it only rains half an inch, I mean, that's not technically a good forecast, but you don't notice that I missed that one as much. But if I forecast, 10 inches of snow and it only snows 2 or 3 inches, then you're going to notice that one. So that's what I'm trying to say. But again, problem is, and I can promise you, I can go on TikTok right now and there'll be somebody out there, probably a bunch of them, that are screaming bloody murder about severe weather and tornadoes and all this other stuff coming next month. Well, I mean, it is May. It's supposed to. But I mean, they're going to make it seem a lot worse than it actually is. And you get ready for hurricane season. That's even the worst. So, I know. Let's see here. Hank Jr. has had too many highs and too many lows. He needs a good forecast and sunshine. Well, I'll need to give old Bo Cephas a good forecasting, I guess. That one was a hard one to predict, Thomas, because we had this real strong cap in place, and a lot about that system earlier in the week just didn't make sense. If a few little things had just changed, we could have gotten nailed with a big severe weather event. But the fact that it didn't, I thought we did a pretty good job with that forecast. A lot of people, were screaming. I mean, they were even talking about these big tornadoes up in Kansas, even late the other night. I mean, SBC had this big tornado risk up in Kansas, and there wasn't one tornado warning inside that. And and I hate, and I don't, and I'm not one to like to blast people, but I mean, the Storm Prediction Center hasn't been good lately either. They have not. And that's where all the hoopla starts. I think they've started buying into all this hype and stuff. It's what it seems anyway, because their forecasts have been bad too. There, I said it. So. Well, that's what they do. They predict the end of the world. So, Katie's just going to be turning a little bit cool. Going to be turning a lot cooler and wetter by the weekend. I do appreciate you guys again. I do appreciate it. Appreciate it. But like I say, we, in the weather business, we're just, and it's not just me. It's a bunch of, it's all of us that feel the same way. You know, these guys on social media have basically ruined. Are basically ruining and are contradicting, and they're hurting what we're trying to do by giving you good information. I mean, I even saw some meteorologists up in Oklahoma City that have started biting on this bandwagon of having to hype up weather. There's a meteorologist up there, very excellent forecaster. I'm not gonna name any names, but that dude was hollering, for violent tornado outbreak, and I was like, dude, I mean, what are you seeing? What are you looking at? I don't get it. But, I would quit my job tomorrow if I was told I had to do that. I would quit, find something else to do. Because, I'm in it because I want to, help you guys by giving you the right information. Every year we make it to severe weather season. Every year we always prepare for the worst. But every year we make it through it without many problems. But, if you believe some of these other guys, every single system that comes through is going to be the end of the world. So that's it. I think I've said my piece. I'm probably not going to, I told myself I was going to stop doing this. I was going to stop, just with all the talking about these people. But, the thing about it is, no, I don't think, if it is, it'd be Small William. But, if we do see a, oh, dadgum, I done lost my train of thought. He's bad. He's awful. I mean, awful, Mark, awful. I mean, some of the stuff a few weeks ago, that guy was saying, I shouldn't be doing that to my colleagues, but you're right. There was a guy up there a few weeks ago, and there was absolutely, he was yelling violent tornado out. There was nothing that showed that, not at all. So, yeah, SBC's been awful, Mark. I mean, they have been awful. I think it's this new leadership, and they got new people working in there, and I don't know if they're biting onto the hype train or what, or maybe they feel forced to do this stuff because of all of the hype that's out there. I don't know. I think that's probably what it is, but they've been issuing these level 4 moderate risk when there shouldn't have been anything over a 2 or a 3, They put hatched tornado areas out there all the time when there doesn't need to be one. They'll issue a tornado watch when a severe thunderstorm watch would have done fine. I mean, used to back in the day, if they issued a moderate risk, you knew they were going to get it. This is a bad looking system here. These days they issue moderate risk, and I don't have any confidence in them. That's why I do my own forecasting. I do my own convective outlooks, because I have zero faith in them right now. I'm almost getting to where I don't even want to look at them anymore because they're that bad. So, but anyway. All right, guys. What's up there? Denise Katinia. Oh, and by the way, whenever I put that stuff on Facebook with my bling bling and whatnot, I'm just playing and having fun. I don't have my ears pierced. I promise you, they're not pierced at all. And I don't own. That was my kids had some. My son had some costume jewelry, and I was just playing around with it. That's all. So, just having a good time. But I do hope it gives you a good laugh. Because see, you guys don't know me, but you don't know me like that. You know me as the weather guy on TV. But really and truly, behind the scenes, I'm a big goofball. My wife will tell you that. I'm a big goofball. So, I was at a I like pink. You know, pink's one of my favorite. Yeah, you're right, Christopher. You're exactly right. You know, I like pink too. I'm not going to wear it all the time, but I like it. Don't bother me. I am confident in my masculinity. And then, you know, they stir the pot, and then whenever they get it wrong, they're so mean and vulgar and ugly. When they stir the pot and get it wrong, then people start to try to, oh, you missed it. They just get real offensive or defensive. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, but that's where we're at in the world of weather these days. So, life's too short to not have a laugh. You know, you're right about that. You know, it just flies by. You blink and it's over. I mean, it just seems like yesterday. I was 20, 21 years old, and now I'm what, 47. You know, I mean, it just flies by. You know, I was, you know, when I got here in Northwest Texas in 2008. I was told myself, I mean, I hated it when I first got here too. I'm not gonna lie, but I didn't know anybody. I didn't know the community. I didn't know the city yet. I just left all my friends and my family back home. So I told myself I'll be here for 3 years and then I'm gone. That's it. Well, 16 years later, I just signed a new contract, so I'm here. Here still. But that's what happens. You know, life happens, and next thing you know, you're living in Wichita Falls, Texas. And, you know, it took me time, but I got to know the community, the people, and it was a community that I really grew to love. Just the people here, real nice, real good folk. I mean, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm kind of at the peak of my prime now, Debbie. So, yeah, you know what? I still get people asking me about Borat all the time. All the time asking me about Borat. Thanks, Tom. And that still was my claim to fame. You know, I still get a paycheck from that. I get like 50 to, sometimes it'll be even close to $100. I don't know, you know, where it's coming from, but, you know, it's just, I guess, pay-per-view sales or whatnot, wherever it goes to. So, I wish I could have done a couple more of those. That was a nice little paycheck. So, anyway. All right, guys, I got to get dressed and get ready for the newscast at 10. Y'all have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow right here. Same time, same place. Y'all have a good night.